Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's the 31st of January 2021. I hope everybody's well. This is the video that I was gonna do yesterday, but I didn't get around to it because I was disturbed. Somebody came. Well, I say somebody. My wife came home. So I'm just going to do a quick overview of the pound USD. The two main pairs that I normally trade are the pound USD and the euro USD. So I just wanted to do the pound USD as well. Just kind of go over a few things. It's not that excuse me. It's not that dissimilar to the euro USD analysis that I did in the previous video that I did yesterday. So don't expect too many differences. I am expecting price to go higher. The most obvious place is going to be up here for the same sort of reasons that I discussed yesterday on euro. We've had a really nice drop here. Okay, and this is more of a macro view as well, in terms of the sort of next month to 3 months, I'd say. Yeah, so the same rules apply. As I was saying yesterday in the euro USD video, we have this idea. When I sit down, I kind of hash out several scenarios. This is what I'm expecting. If this doesn't happen, then this is the next scenario I'm expecting. If that doesn't happen, and so on and so on. And then it's just a question of waiting for these scenarios to unfold, and as they do, and while I'm waiting for these scenarios to unfold, I'll drop down to the hourly. I'll look at price during the London session, throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, and I'm looking for that sweet spot sort of Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday to pick something off, maybe just grab 20 pips or 30 pip trade, on an intraday basis based on the movement of the overall direction on the higher time frame, weekly and daily. Yeah, the monthly chart for me is more of a end of month thing or the beginning of the year, where I look at the beginning of the year where I did the analysis, on the euro USD for the sort of 6 month timeline at the beginning of this year, and I like to use the monthly for that, and at the end of each month as we cross over into the next month. But I rarely use the monthly, for my I don't want to say directional bias. I'm not a fan of labels because they, you kind of you get attached to labels basically, and I like to just keep everything on an even keel. But the weekly and the daily are where it's at for me, and as you can see, as we're looking at the chart like this, we have here we go. Right, so we have we'll just keep this really simple. So we have this area up here is where I'm expecting price to go. We have this area down here. Okay, all right, I'll just get rid of this. So this stop run down here. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, if you've been around for a while, you'll know that I did a video quite a while ago, it would have been last year now, where I was discussing this point here, where price came down and it dipped into a level which was way back in 1985. I had to go onto TradingView to get enough data to zoom out and show the 1985 level. And since then, as it drove into that level, and it was quite aggressive, this really strong push into this 1985 level was reaching for liquidity very fast, yeah, and it wiped out pretty much all of this move, this grinding upwards. It tried to accelerate a little bit here, but then it's grinding, it tries to accelerate a little bit, grind, and it just wiped it all out in 2 weeks. Boom, all the way down into that 1985 level, which is pretty significant, and then it's just been going up ever since. Yeah, so really nice reversal, quite aggressive, reversal here just on that 1 week, pretty much eliminates the previous week. This is really nice rejection. Okay, so this is negation effectively. This is just negating the previous move. We get this nice dip into it there. Now, if anybody wants to do the study, and I've already done this, but if you take this move lower, and it might be slightly different depending on your broker, but if you take that move lower here, just there, right, and pair it up with this section here, so where it actually stopped, and go down to the daily, go down to the 4 hour, the hourly, and just break this small area down and have a look where price stopped. It will give you a lot of insights, yeah? Open up your eyes a little bit and see if you notice a few things, yeah? I'll leave it at that and let you guys go and do the study, and it's quite fascinating. And the same applies for this. As price comes down, do the same again for this small area here. This is not as pronounced, but this one is, right? And you can see we've been going up ever since, all right? We've taken out these two highs up here. Price is still grinding, nice and controlled price. It's not aggressive, it's not pushing, it's not trying to get away too quickly. So there's plenty of liquidity. You can see that the prices, excuse me. There's plenty of liquidity because you can see prices is in a nice smooth, facilitation of trade. Both sides of the market, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, as it's grinding up, grinding up, grinding up. And this is the weekly, yeah? So it's not, a 2-minute or a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart, where price is bouncing backwards and forwards all over the place. This is a nice, gradual weekly chart where we know one full week of data is represented in one candle and it's still maintaining quite a tight range. So this is nice and gradual, so nice fluid movement, so until price really starts to accelerate, we know that price isn't reaching for liquidity right now. It's just grinding nicely. So as it's grinding like this, it gives us a very good indication that it's going to be grinding for a higher level, okay? And obviously the most obvious place is going to be up here, and then potentially to rebalance some of this area up here. So with all of that said, for me, I'm expecting higher prices, yeah? It's a nice simple analysis. It doesn't take a genius to work it out. So if we drop down to the daily chart, okay, just zoom in a little bit. I'll zoom out a little bit first. Yeah, no, it's pointless. You can even see it here. Look, it's a little bit more pronounced. See, price came down here into this area that needed rebalancing, and then again, this is what I was talking about. Break that down on the 4-hour and hourly, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's just zoom in a little bit. Okay. Now, what I would like to see, and right now, I am very confident that the pound USD is going higher. Okay, so I'm not looking for confirmation of this on the daily, yeah, but I don't need to see that on the daily chart. What I need to see is a reason, okay, to look for an entry that works for my own personal risk model. Yeah, I'm not looking to just jump into this. It's not enough to say, yeah, well, I'm expecting price to go higher to a level that I've looked at on the weekly and that I'm comfortable price is going to go to, so I'm just going to randomly jump into price and just expect it to go there, because that doesn't solve the risk problem. Yeah, anybody can jump into anything, but it needs to make sense from a risk point of view. So for me, the way that I trade as an intraday trader, I need to find a spot where it makes sense. So I'm looking at the daily like this. It doesn't really make sense. We're kind of grinding sideways. On that dip just there as price came down, just below this, and you know what? Let me customize appearance. Let me just take this grid off for a second because it's doing my head in. So I'll just zoom in a little bit and show you. Right there where price just dipped there, and it takes out that candle's low and this candle's low and this candle right here, right, and it dips into this area here to rebalance, okay? Right there, it picks up some liquidity, right? And it reverses. Just there as price was coming down on a lower time frame, that would have been a good opportunity, right, to find a confirmation entry as price started to go back up. So that would have been a nice spot, yeah, for me personally, to drop down to a lower time frame and find an entry for a potential 20 or 30 pip trade. But where we're currently at right now, it doesn't work. Yeah, so I would like to see going into next week, maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, for example, price to open, grind lower a little bit, maybe dip, take out a low, reverse a little bit, start to grind higher. Maybe by Wednesday, I drop down to an hourly, maybe a 15-minute chart, try and find a nice little entry after it's put in a low of the week, for example, something like that. Yeah, so that's what I'd be looking for. 4-hour, and I will just customize the appearance, put these back on, just zoom out a little bit, just to kind of get a bit of a feel. So we've got last week, a bit messy, yeah. So again, I mean, I'd like to see what would be nice, and it's very unlikely this is going to happen, but what would be nice is if price opens, and it just rips to the downside and then just reverses and comes all the way back up. That really obvious negation, bang, reversal, and then starts to grind higher, and then you've got that last portion to take out this, and then grind higher towards that higher time frame level. That would be a perfect opportunity for me. All right, guys, so that's what I'm going to be looking for on the pound USD, in the next couple of weeks. In terms of overall picture for the next month and a half, possibly 2 months, I'm expecting that higher time frame weekly level to be, to be traded to up here. Okay. And in terms of price, that's going to be around about the 143, 144 level. We'll call it 143.50 to 144 handle. Yeah, that's a nice sweet spot for me, and that's where I'm expecting price to go. As it goes up, I would expect price to stall, and I will make a note of this, just here. I would expect price to stall just here. Okay. As it's going up at the 140 handle. All right, so as price goes up, I would expect price to stall here. Maybe a potential fade there if price hits that in a specific way, as in it drives up there while it's reaching for liquidity very quickly. Yeah, a nice sort of drive in there, very quick, very rapid velocity, bang, hits that level quickly. Stretched out candles, you know what I mean, going, I won't say climactic or parabolic, but a nice run as it's going. It starts to accelerate, hits that level, nice little fade, 20, 30 pips, 40 pips, you know, and then you take something on the upside as it goes into this level up here. All right, guys, so I'm going to leave it at that. As always, this is not trade advice. I'm not licensed to give trade advice. You know, it's all educational, but something to study going into the next couple of weeks, and then overall for the bigger picture in the next month and a half to 2 months. Hope everybody's well. If you find value in the videos that I post on YouTube, please give the videos a thumbs up, share, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch up with you guys very soon. See you soon.